Goosebumps, the legendary 90s show that had an entire generation hiding under their blankets. But here's the weird thing. Even though it looked scary, it never actually felt like true horror. And today, we're going to dive into why. From creepy dummies to haunted masks, the Goosebumps show is filled with strange stories. But if you've ever wondered why it felt more fun than frightening, you're about to find out. And stick around till the end, because there's a hidden truth buried in Goosebumps that almost no one knows, not even the biggest fans. Coming up, we're revealing how the producers tricked kids into being scared, why Goosebumps stories are secretly inspired by classic horror films, and the mysterious part R.L. Stine himself never admitted on camera. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. First, let's talk about the obvious. Goosebumps was never designed to terrify adults. It was made for kids, and that changes everything. The monsters looked creepy, sure, but the show had strict rules. No gore, no real violence, and the good guys almost always survived. Compare that to actual horror, like The Exorcist or Nightmare on Elm Street, and you realize Goosebumps was playing in the spooky playground. And then there's the budget. The show was filmed in Canada with shoestring special effects. Instead of realistic terror, you got rubber masks, fog machines, and campy acting, which, weirdly, made the stories even more fun. It's like eating Halloween candy. It's scary colored, but sweet on the inside. Question for you. Did you ever actually get scared by Goosebumps as a kid? Or were you just pretending so you didn't look weak in front of your friends? Comment below. I'm curious. But here's where Goosebumps shines. Variety. Each episode felt like opening a new mystery box. One week you got a cursed camera that predicts disasters. The next week you're stuck in a haunted amusement park. This anthology format is what kept kids glued to the screen. You never knew what you'd get next. Werewolves, ventriloquist dummies, mummies, aliens, or just a creepy neighbor with a secret. And then came the twist endings. R.L. Stine loved to flip the script. Just when you thought the hero was safe, boom, the villain wins, or the curse returns, or the kid was secretly a monster all along. That's why Goosebumps episodes stick in people's memories. They weren't just stories. They were roller coasters that ended by throwing you off the ride. By the way, wait until you hear the Lost Goosebumps twist at the very end of this video. It will change how you see the entire show. Now, let's compare Goosebumps to other shows. Around the same time, Nickelodeon aired Are You Afraid of the Dark, which honestly was scarier. That show dealt with darker themes, creepier monsters, and even deaths. But Goosebumps went for a different vibe. It wasn't about traumatizing kids. It was about introducing them to the fun side of fear. Psychologically, it worked. Kids love safe scares. It's why roller coasters are popular. You know you're not actually in danger, but your brain gets the thrill anyway. Goosebumps was the TV equivalent of that. And here's something wild. Psychologists say this type of play horror actually builds resilience in kids. Goosebumps wasn't just entertainment. It was training wheels for fear. But here's where things get really mysterious. If you re-watch Goosebumps today, you'll notice something strange. A lot of episodes mirror classic horror tropes, Frankenstein, Dracula, Twilight Zone-style sci-fi. But R.L. Stine rarely admitted where those inspirations came from. Some fans believe Goosebumps was secretly designed as a way to repackage adult horror into something kids could consume, like a gateway drug into the horror genre. And the weirdest part? Several Goosebumps episodes were banned in certain countries for being too scary for kids. Even though they look silly now, at the time they were considered dangerously frightening. So was Goosebumps really harmless fun? Or was it quietly shaping how an entire generation thought about fear? And here's the part almost nobody knows. In one of his rare interviews, R.L. Stine admitted that his biggest secret weapon wasn't the monsters. It was the endings. He said, "I never wanted kids to feel safe at the end of the story." Think about that. Even when the episode was over, you were left uneasy, wondering if the mask would come back, if the dummy would escape, if the camera would strike again. That's why Goosebumps never felt like true horror. It was something even more clever, a puzzle you couldn't stop thinking about. And that's why, 30 years later, we're still talking about it. So now you know the strange secret of Goosebumps 1995. It wasn't about horror. It was about curiosity. But here's my question. If Goosebumps was training kids for bigger scares, what was the scariest show of the 90s that actually went too far? That's what we're covering next. Don't miss it.